we're here trying to show newbies how a newbie tries to make art yarn. This is mulberry silk that I bought off of eBay for a measly $10, and it's beautiful. It's a roving. I find it very hard to use this roving to make like a unified or a very thin yarn that's, you know, something you'd buy at Walmart or whatever. So I decided to try to make art yarn out of it, and I'm very new to spinning. I've only been spinning for about half a year. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a piece of the roving and I am just mashing it together as if they were locks, even though it's not. But mulberry silk has some tough spots in it that even if you pre-draft it, it's going to do what it's going to do. So I've decided to mash it into a ball, just a little chunk, and treat it like they're locks, and attempt to make an art yarn out of it. I started already. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's kind of doing like a thick and thin kind of thing. I'm just letting it do what it's going to do. Since I'm trying to do an art yarn, I'm going to spin in a clockwise direction because I'm not going to apply this again. I'm just going to keep it as it is. So I'm going to start my wheel. I'm going to pull off a little bit to draft onto what I've already started. You can draft onto any yarn, a leader, whatever you want to do. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of letting the silk fibers draft the way they want to. Not really controlling it. I'm holding the ball in my hand lightly, but tightly enough to control how much I want to go through the orifice on my wheel. I have a 1981 Ashford, so the orifice is not large, so I have to kind of control how big I want the lumps and bumps. So I'm just kind of pulling, like that's a big one. I'm going to help it along, twist it a bit more by hand, and I think that's just gorgeous. Now art yarn you can use for a lot of things. You can use them, I've seen people wear them as necklaces, you can add them to brims of hats, socks, whatever you're making. It's always fun to add a little something special to a project you're working on. So this is, again, I ended with my first mashed piece, and I'm just kind of jacking this roving up. I'm really ruining it. So, but I'm doing it on purpose so that I get the lumpy and bumpy look that I want. So again, here's my piece that I ended with. I'm going to pull a little bit to draft onto it, start in a clockwise direction. My husband's going to walk across the camera here in a sec. Oh, you're not? Okay. And I'm just going to continue on and let it do whatever it feels like doing. And I just think, I'm going to pause it. That piece right there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's gorgeous. It's got little tiny flyaways that aren't really flyaways, but they're like curls. It's really beautiful. So I'm just controlling how much I want to feed through and letting it kind of do what it's going to do. Now see, I lost my ball here. It kind of separated from my mashed up mash. So I'm going to rejoin it. Actually, I'm going to move it to another spot on the bobbin because it's filling up. Anyway, I'm going to let it just kind of rejoin to itself. And again, just kind of like a long draw, kind of, I don't give a crap kind of technique. And I find it to be really beautiful because when I first got this roving, I was trying to make, you know, a really unified yarn. I tried end flying it, just couldn't get anything to look really pretty out of it because I'm new. Now if it's just regular roving where all the fibers are really similar, or, you know, they just are easy to draft, well then I can make a beautiful yarn. But this mulberry silk I find challenging for whatever reason. So this is just my way of dealing with it, and I think it turns out to be something beautiful that I can add to, I don't know, maybe the bottom of a ruffle of a skirt, or just anything really, or picture frame for that matter, make some art yarn art. So here's my new little piece of roving that I've mashed together. I don't know if you can see it from that far away, but it's like I'm jacking it up. I'm really not caring what direction the fibers are going because I want to simulate the look of locks. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I'm having a hard time making anything else out of this fiber. But I really love what it's doing. So in slow motion, here is my piece I ended with. Got a little strand there and it's just kind of chilling. I'm going to just lay that right on top, just the end like that, and I'm going to start my wheel. I like to grab the spokes. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but that's what I do. I try to grab a different one. It's kind of hard to tell which ones are different, which ones aren't. But there you go. It's kind of a beginner's way of attempting art yarn. And if you find a flub, like this one here, I think that's what it's called, you know, a big chunk. If it's not doing what you want it to do, I find if you just kind of help twist it with your fingers while the wheel is turning, it'll help it kind of look better. I don't know how else to describe it. But you just kind of do that and really try not to let the twist enter your mash right here. I found that can be difficult to deal with, especially with this fiber. I'm sure people out there really know what to do with this fiber and make beautiful yarns out of this. And I hope to be one of those people in the future. But as for right now, this is all I can do. So my mash separated from what I had. It just kind of lost itself. So I have to rejoin again. Again, I'm just going to lay it on my mash, start the wheel, let it kind of grab itself and hope for the best. But this is so fun, especially when you've got something that you didn't pay a ton of money for and you want to try a new technique. I'm sorry, I had a lump here that got caught on my hip. Anyway, it's a fun way to experiment with new techniques when you get a fiber that you're not used to or don't really know how to manipulate. It's a great way to kind of just feel for what it's going to do and what it's capable of. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like it and dislike it. If you don't like it, that's cool too. Like I said, I'm a beginner, but if it helps you venture into the art yarn world, my job is complete. Happy spinning.